I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain.io. We're here at the World Blockchain Forum, Tokens and Securities Conference in New York City with Serdar from Beam. Thank you for being here, Serdar.
Thank you.
So please start a little bit with what is Beam and how is it changing the blockchain industry?
So we started off as a payments and rewards app many years ago in UAE. And today we have some 5,000 store acceptance network, over 700,000 stores. We processed some 4 million transactions and so on. We initially focused on demand generation or marketing for retailers. But now we're kind of notching it up a level and we are going after the entire value chain of the retail value chain. And we will use blockchain to allow users to own their own data and facilitate, and then we want to kind of create a platform where it facilitates the exchange of it for value with the retail.
For sure. There's a huge paradigm shift with blockchain from the traditional industry where now people realize that they should own their own data, and if they want to be able to sell their data, then they should do that, right?
Yeah, otherwise the way it is right now is pretty wrong and it's not going to work because everybody has a piece of you. So whichever company you come in digital contact with, so whether it's Uber, whether it is Airbnb, Facebook, Google or anyone, everyone has a piece of you. And then when you look at the retail value chain, every retailer also has a piece of you. But because they're all either competitors or they're legally not allowed to put it all together, no one actually has a understanding of what that customer behavior is. And then if you don't understand customer behavior, you can't really personalize anything. You can't optimize your own business either. So
definitely there's a lot of data fragmentation going on right now, and we're moving towards personalized everything, right?
That's right.
So the more complete data you have, the better you can personalize. So you're working on payments and loyalties. What's your current client base and how big is the business?
So right now we have mostly retailers. So we are, let's say, dealing with the front line of the retail value chain. But we, once we kind of, when we go on to blockchain, when we start processing transactions on blockchain, what will happen is we will bring all the relevant parties in a given transaction together into one transaction. So today when you make a payment with your card or cash, it's basically, I gave you money. That's the end of that story. Whereas when you really think about it, okay, what did you buy? You bought, let's say, San Pellegrino water bottle or whatever. You bought it at this shopping center and so on. There are actually multiple parties involved in any transaction. And we want to bring it all together into one place so that they can all start then exchanging the data and value between each other.
That's great to hear, Serdar. So what are you guys doing with Beam moving forward in the next 6 months?
So we've announced our ICO yesterday, and we will do the public ICO around September. And once we close the ICO, so at this point it's around creating awareness in the community around the project. Post ICO, we will focus on creating awareness amongst retailers, taking Beam global into more cities. And instead of opening offices and launching Beam in places ourselves, utilizing the token kind of economy, we are looking for local partners at a city level. So other companies can launch Beam in their own city as long as they participate in the network.
That's great. So you guys started in the UAE, and you've been expanding out. Where do you see the most traction moving forward geographically?
That's generally difficult to predict, but I would say the problems we have in the retail value chain are global. So there is a problem, doesn't matter which country it is, there is a problem to solve. So, and we don't generally push or look for a country to go to. We wait until someone shows interest from the country in what we do, and then they say we have these type of problems we want to solve. If things align, then we look for those countries. But under the local partnership model, once we create that awareness, hopefully people will raise their hand and they say, I want to launch Beam in my country, in my city. These are the things that what I do, and then that's where we can work together.
That's great to hear. Blockchain is going to be revolutionizing internationally. So to have a business model that reaches all continents is going to be much more effective because it can apply easily internationally.
But I think I was having an interesting conversation today with someone here as well. is that for blockchain and cryptocurrencies to be adopted or to kind of go mainstream, what we are lacking right now is that if you go to a retailer and saying, hey, would you like to get some cryptocurrency payments? Some of them will say yes, most of them will run away because it's too complex to understand and so on. So what we are focusing on is that instead of taking that line, how about we solve some of the real problems, and then the underlying infrastructure is on blockchain, and they don't particularly care about it at that point, but then once they start feeling the benefits of it, then there will be a point where adoption will increase. Yeah.
I completely agree. At this point, blockchain is very early stage, and part of it is an education process, right? And if you can explain the benefits and make it a simple user interface for people that are not technical, you lower the barriers to entry, can greatly increase the adoption of your products.
They need to feel the benefits. Education is okay, it will get to a point, but if they're actually feeling the benefits, then adoption will happen. Yeah.
So how can people learn more about the benefits and get educated about Beam?
So I think at this point, since we've just announced our ICO, the best place would be go to our webpage, ico.beamwallet.com, and then our white paper is coming out in a couple of weeks, so register for that, download it, and then just reach out on our Telegram and so on, and then we go from there.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Sardar.
Great. Thank you.